Why do we feel insecure after pregnancy? Happens very, very often. If you're feeling insecure, you're definitely not the only one. So why does it happen? Now let's see. Let's start down there. Our vagina may have just gone through a bit of a rough patch, and my advice would be to give it a good long wait before you pull out a mirror to check on that war zone down there. Your body is healing. You may have stitches down there, or you may have stitches in your stomach area, or maybe you have wounds that are uncomfortable, sore. Maybe there's some incontinence. That's unfortunately also part of the aftermath of pregnancy. There's bound to be a lot of bleeding, especially in the weeks after you've given birth. And it can go on for weeks and weeks. So maybe not a very comfortable and sexy subject, but hemorrhoids, yes, they very, very often happen after giving birth. And it's no wonder that happens if you think of what you've been squeezing out of your body. And these hemorrhoids, they're not just uncomfortable. They're horrible but they're also uncomfortable to talk about. They're just uncomfortable, period. You may be experiencing some squishy tummy, some belly flaps, loose skin, lots of body fluids leaking all over the place. And if you're still to give birth, then please make sure, I'm not trying to scare you away from it, but please make sure to read up on all these things because they will soon be part of your reality. Again, it's not to scare you, it's all part of pregnancy. It's the unsexy part of pregnancy that people don't always talk about. And it's all part of what can cause many women to feel like, well, they weren't properly prepared for the aftermath. And it's not just your body that has to go through big changes, it's also your daily routine. And it's now being determined no longer by yourself, but by your newborn, most of the time anyway. You are continuously adjusting to things like all of your baby's needs, like its sleeping schedule, sleeping rhythms, feeding times, bathing times. And all these things are taking up probably, well, the majority of your time, which will probably mean that, you're not getting a lot of sleep and you're not doing many of the things that you used to do. Also, be aware that the nights can be extremely uncomfortable. You have to keep waking up because you need to feed your baby. You may have a restless baby. You've got to remember your baby is also adjusting to this outside world. It's never been outside of your room before, so it needs to adjust. It's all completely new for this wee one as well. And there's no other way for them to express themselves than by crying. And of course, your body is still sore. And on top of that, you may be experiencing things like, because we're talking about during the night, you may be experiencing night sweats, which, by the way, is very, very normal. Again, can be very, very uncomfortable. It can get so bad that some women have to change their beds multiple times a night. So your whole body has been through months of changes, and now these changes, they haven't magically disappeared overnight. You're no longer pregnant, but your body really, really needs time to bounce back. So did you think or did you hope that you'd be back to normal very soon, that you would have the same body straight after birth or maybe a couple of weeks later? I'm sorry to tell you that for most women, that is just completely unrealistic. That really only happens to the happy few. What we see on social media platforms, um, that's again not reality for the majority of women. Many of these women that post on there, they will have very special equipment to make them look the way they look. They'll probably have teams of like personal trainers, makeup artists, good old photo touch-up apps to make it all look a lot better than, or a lot prettier than probably it is in reality. Probably when you turn the camera off, you'll see something very different. And then there's another warning I'd like to give you. You'll be losing your hair at one point. which again, it's all part of the process. And even though you may have heard that that will be part of the deal, it can still really freak you out when you're pulling out these big lumps of hair, or when you're cleaning the shower and you're finding yourself rushing to the mirror to see, oh my God, where's that bald patch? So again, that's part of reality. It happens a couple of weeks after pregnancy. So by that time, you may have forgotten that that's also going to happen. It will happen. And your boobs, they will be huge and veiny, and they'll just be different. I found mine, extremely ugly and very, very unsexy and extremely sore. I used to like sleep on my stomach, and there was just absolutely no way that I could do that, even though I was very much looking forward to doing that after my pregnancy. The boobs were just in the way and extremely sore. You'll probably also experience things like stretch marks. For many women, that's also part of the deal, and that also takes part of getting used to as part of your new body. So really, basically, from top to bottom, your body has changed, and it's taking its sweet time to bounce back to normal. And truthfully, back to normal is really back to a new you, because your body has changed, and it's changed because of a wonderful cause, which is hopefully more than 100% worth it. But yes, realistically, your body will never fully bounce back to your pre-pregnant self. And that, for many of us, is something that we weren't really properly, deep down in ourselves, properly prepared for. And that makes it often very tough to accept. So are you able to accept this for now and move into your new role as a mum, enjoying your baby and also trusting the future to help you accept that this new you, whether it improves over time or not, is what it is? Are these changes messing with your mental health maybe? Now, I have some very important questions to ask you, and I also ask my clients some. And I would advise you to maybe listen to the questions again after I've asked them, and to really take them in, to take your time to answer them, and to answer them as honestly as you can, because they may be able to help you move forward in anything that you're struggling with regards to what I spoke about before. And the first question is, why is this tough on you? And what was your honest expectation? What is it that makes this a problem? Why is it so important to you? And how is not being able to accept your new body affecting other people you love? And these are some important questions to ask yourself. And again, try to be honest as you possibly can. I advise you not to write any of the answers down, but to just let it simmer in your mind. Your subconscious will come up with answers for you. So if you're struggling, if you find yourself struggling, then first of all, remember that, many of us do post-pregnancy. We've been through something major, a life-changing event. And if you're feeling that you're struggling to accept that this new you, then also it's maybe time to reach out to someone you trust, to confide in them, to talk to them, to let them know how you feel and why you feel it, and when you're feeling it. What are these struggles about? So the answers to the questions that you have, if you feel that you need to talk to someone, please do. Go to your local doctor, to your midwife, anyone who can help you. There is lots of help available out there when you're struggling. The thing is, though, that the longer you wait, the longer that you keep all these struggles to yourself, and the bigger the effect will be, not only on you, but also on your environment. And that probably means also on your new family. Now, these struggles, when they get out of hand and when they're there for a very long period of time, they will be harder to control, because every single body is affected by pregnancy, but not every mind is affected to such an extent that it starts to interfere with your way of life and also with your happiness. Most of us are quite resilient and we bounce back eventually, new body and all. So if you find that you're not bouncing back very well or not at all, then please reach out. You're not the first, you'll not be the last, but you can get back to that state where your mental happiness is in a good place, in a positive place. And guess what? You won't feel too bothered about that state of your body anymore because it's all become part of you. As long as, up here, you are okay. If you can accept all of this, and the rest will follow, I promise you. If you've tried everything, you're not seeing and feeling the progress that you were hoping for, then please reach out. Take care.